I love trimming, and I think trimming plates is one of my favorites because my goodness, the spirals that come off of it are just so delicious. I start by first centering my plate using a bump centering method where I'm just very lightly pressing toward center with mostly my left hand, but a little bit with my right as well, very, very gently until the piece is centered. And then I attach my lugs and start trimming, and the spirals just start flying. I'm not being particularly careful here to take little bites, but I'm also not pushing super hard. It's really important that when you're trimming, if your tool is sharp, you don't have to push, which means your trimming will be much more effective and you're less likely to catch, especially when using these angled style trimming tools that catch a lot easier than a loop tool. So I sharpen my tools with a file fairly frequently to make sure that they cut really nicely. And then you get beautiful ribbons. This plate, I decided to just do one singular foot on the outside, but this is my favorite part because look at that giant pile of trimmings that just gets to start in the center. It's so good. Sometimes, when I'm throwing plates like this, I will do a double foot ring. After having an experience where my entire batch of plates that were for a custom order slumped in the center, I've decided I'm not typically willing to wait and risk that and see if it's going to happen. So, most of the time, I do a double foot ring, but this was the first one I did. And honestly, I hadn't made plates in so long, I kind of forgot that I used to do that. So, the rest of the batch does have double foot rings on them. So, this one's kind of a one off. Once I'm finished trimming, I like to use a damp sponge to run over the edge of the foot to make sure there are no sharp edges so that the plate or bowl or cup or whatever I'm trimming doesn't chip over time. I then noticed I wanted the center of this one to be a little bit lower, so I did a tiny bit more trimming, being careful not to let it stick to the foot so I didn't have more cleanup to do. And then I just removed my lugs and took a look at my plate, where I then let it dry fairly quickly for a plate, but let it set up and dry slowly enough that it didn't crack.